Hi everyone, this is Jini. I'm here in Banasa forest. We're walking around the forest. It is the last day of 2020, and I thought this would be a good time for me to share with you some ideas, some concepts, and I would like to welcome you in exploring new ideas and concepts. This video is intended to be first in the series of several videos describing something which I have pondered, something which I have think about for quite some time now. It is something which I like to call the Jini System. Together, hopefully, by means of these videos, we will learn together what Jini is and how can it improve our lives in ways which we haven't thought possible before. So, without further ado, I would like to talk to you about an interesting concept, namely, how can we model abstract concepts uh, like ideas, like feelings, and how can we model this in such a way that it allows for systematic analysis and maybe facilitates some machine learning? That would be good. So, first of all, what is a Jini system? A Jini system is a system whose objective is to improve the quality of our lives. How do we improve the quality of our lives? Well, as someone once said, the winners don't do different things, the winners do things differently. So, I would like to describe to you first in this video way of looking at things, a way of organizing information, a way of modeling information all around us, so that this information can be later analyzed programmatically, maybe using a computer, so that we fulfill our objective of improving the quality of our lives. So, how would you describe an abstract concept? What is an abstract concept? Well, let me just move the phone on silent. Don't want any interruptions. Okay. So, how would you define an abstract concept? How would you define something very subjective? How would you define feeling good and feeling bad? So, let's start by visualizing an example. Let's start by thinking of a situation in which you feel good and also in which you feel bad. So, since the holiday season 2020 just passed, I would suggest maybe to think about a holiday dinner, for example. Think about a dinner with the people you love, a dinner with the people you enjoy spending time with, a dinner where everybody eats their favorite food dish, where everybody discusses subjects which all of you enjoy. A dinner which maybe a childhood friend will compliment you on your recent achievements. A dinner where your significant other may say to you, I love you. Or maybe a cat purrs in your lap. All right? So, all of these things which I've described so far form a context. This context is comprised of the people, the conversation, the food, the love, right? So, this context is like you can see it as a vessel through which normally you would feel good. So when you have this context, typical intention within this context is simply feeling good. So we are able to describe feeling good as a typical intention within a friendly and familiar context. But nevertheless, on the flip side, if we flip things upside down, if we try to be a bit more pessimistic, let's say, and this might be due to the human condition. It seems to me as being easier to find flaws with something rather than being constructive about that thing. So it might be quite easy to find certain defects, certain errors, certain problems. So as an exercise, let's look at our dinner table through the eyes of a pessimist. Let's look at it by focusing on the empty side of the glass. What can we see? Maybe the host who organized the dinner will collect the garbage, the waste, in a way which is not really sustainable. It's not adequately set up for recycling. So let's suppose that the host would collect paper and plastic and metal and glass all together in the same bag, in the same garbage bag. So when you have this waste which is not recycled, maybe it will end up in the ocean, polluting the ocean, piling up on a huge garbage patch in the ocean, and unfortunately affecting all the wildlife which is around it. The question arises, is this good? Does this make you feel good? Likely not. Likely, if you're a normal person like me, you might not feel good when hearing about such a situation. So, this is one negative aspect at the dinner table. Can we think of others? Maybe at the dinner table, two acquaintances or friends or two family members perhaps will excuse themselves later on to go for a cigarette break, to go for a smoke outside. Well, question arises. Is smoking good for you? It might make you feel good, but I'm not sure whether smoking is good for you. And maybe on the short run, it can make you feel good. But on the long run, if you smoke excessively, this might lead to some serious complications. So I wouldn't exactly characterize smoking as something which makes you feel good, at least not on the long run. Okay, so we have these two negative elements part of our dinner table. Can we think of one more? What if the food on the table contains meat, which comes from farms? These farms maybe will never prioritize their profits, their financial gains, above the quality of life of their animal critters, of their livestock. So when this happens, you might end up with animals which live some very depressing lives. Some animals whose entire existence is riddled with pain. They don't really feel good. So, question arises, but I'm not going to ask it. Does this sound good? Does this make you feel good? No, obviously not. This is quite sad, really, if you think about it. So, the dinner table, at the dinner table, we have two contexts. We have a context in which you feel good and a context in which you feel bad. You have the conversations, you have the people you love, you have the food, you enjoy yourself. That's one context. While the other, the negative context, is context with the mishandling of waste and garbage, with smoking, which is bad, with the mistreatment of animals in certain farms. So these are the two contexts. One in which the intention is to feel good, and one in which the intention is to feel bad. However, when you think of a holiday dinner, there is something which feels right about it. Won't you agree? Don't you think so? But what is it? Can we find out what that is? What is harmony? Harmony can be described as balance. What if we have balance at the dinner table between the good context and the bad context? Between the feeling good intention and the feeling bad intention? What if there is balance there? So we might have a different abstract concept which is called harmony. And I would like to make a personal side note to this. From my own experience, I've noticed that when you try to do good things, you do all the time good things, you try to be a good person, somehow, paradoxically, you end up surrounding yourself with negative things, negative situations, negative people. Why is that? Why good things don't happen to good people? Why only mostly bad things happen to good people? This reminds me of the Eastern philosophy of yin and yang. In the Eastern philosophy, people have been talking for quite some time now that yin cannot exist without the yang. So good can be seen only in contrast with bad, with evil. So in order to assess, to evaluate, to characterize something as good or bad, you need a reference point. Oh, I'm not sure if you can hear these loud noises. Banasa Forest, just as a side note, is besides a shooting range, and you might hear people having fun for New Year's, or these might be fireworks, I don't know really. So, where was I? I was ending a side note. So, my side note was on the Eastern philosophy of yin and yang. So, you have this good which cannot exist without the bad. Because, as Einstein said, or as Einstein put it, everything is relative. So, you need a reference point to define something as, which by comparison can be one way or the other. So, as a side note, I wanted to say that, for me at least, from my own personal experience, it's sometimes more valuable as a goal, rather than doing all the time good things, instead to try to seek not the good things, but seeking the harmony, maintaining the harmonious state. I think that is more valuable as a goal than, for instance, having a goal doing only good things. You need some kind of balance between good and bad. So, ending this side note. Back to our dinner table. So we have the context of feeling good and the intention of feeling good. We have the context of feeling bad and the intention of feeling bad. When these two balance each other out, the goods and the bads balance each other out, we have a harmony. We have a state of at peace, of being at peace with oneself. We have a state, a positive state also, equilibrium, which is more or less neutral. It's not really good, not really bad, it's just a state of balance, of harmony. Maybe harmony is what feels good about this dinner table, even though we have the good context and the bad context. So, if we wanted to visualize these intentions within context, how would we do that? Can we visualize them somehow? Well, let's imagine a donut. A typical donut, which has its characteristic shape, rounded with a hole in the middle. And usually on the donut you find different icings, different toppings, different things which adds to the donut different which add to the donut different flavors. For instance, you could have a chocolate flavored donut with chocolate icing, maybe chocolate chips. You could have a vanilla donut, maybe with some vanilla flavored icing, with some candy sprinkles on top, different color candy sprinkles. Maybe you can put whipped cream on the donut and some forest fruits, maybe some strawberries. You can have all sorts of donuts. So let's think of a donut, a blank donut without any toppings. Let's think of an abstract donut, a conceptual donut, just the shape of a donut. So on this donut, we can put any topping we like. So on our abstract donut, let's try to put elements which form the good context at the dinner table. Let's take the people and put them, reference them, put their names on the abstract donut. Let's put also on the abstract donut the things which make you feel good, the conversation. Okay, maybe we can put a transcript of the conversation on the good donut. So we put all the elements, part of the good context on the good donut. We end up with a good donut. So, as mentioned previously, the typical intention within this context would be feeling good. So, how would we illustrate this feeling good? Well, we may be able to see feeling good as an arrow which goes through the middle of the donut, through its hole, and on the arrow it is written feeling good. So this is our good donut, let's say. And on the flip side, if we flip things over, if with our pessimistic mindset we focus on the negative side, we think about all the bad things and put them on yet another donut. Take another blank abstract donut and put on it the negative aspects of the dinner table, perhaps smoking, mistreatment of animals, and the mishandling of garbage, not recycling, all the negative aspects. We put them on a donut, and we call that the bad donut. So once again, within this bad donut, within the hole in the center of the black donut, not black, bad donut, I meant to say, we have another arrow, which on which it is written feeling bad. So the second donut, feeling bad, is a donut characterized by the context of feeling bad and the arrow, the intention of feeling bad. So these are our two donuts. We have two donuts, one good and one bad. So what can we do now? Let's try to think of a third donut. Let's think of a larger donut. A donut which allows for bigger toppings because it is bigger donut. On the bigger donut you can put bigger toppings. So imagine a donut as big as the dinner table, as wide as the dinner table. This huge donut. So on this donut we can add, as we did before, any toppings we like. We can add, for instance, the good donut as a topping on the larger donut, the bad donut as a topping on the larger donut, and let's add an equal sign as a topping. So we put an equals as a topping on the big donut. What did we end up with? So we have this bigger donut with the good donut, the bad donut, and the equal sign. And as logically this comes about, the larger donut would signify equality between good and bad, would signify a balance, equilibrium. So this big donut would be our, we can call it our harmony donut. So it's a donut which represents a balance between good and bad. there you have it. This is a definition, an analogy which I am very fond of. I hope you like it too. If you don't, please leave your doubts and or remarks in the comments below. So, what can we do with these intentions within context? Well, if we model information in this way, we can find that this data structure, this way of looking at things, the intention and the context, the arrow and the collection of elements part of the context, would you say it's adequate way of describing abstract concepts such as feeling good, feeling bad, feeling harmonious? If you think so, please leave it in the comments below. Leave your thoughts there. I would appreciate that. Also, we described so far abstract concepts. What about physical objects, palpable objects? Can this be described as intentions within contexts? What is a car? Well, with a bit of exercise of our imagination, we can briefly describe a car as intention of people to go places. So in the context in which people have places to go, the intention is to get there. So this is realized through a car. This is one way to visualize the car, but not only the intention of getting places. There are also standards and regulations of how to build the car, how to test the car. So the car is also a fulfillment of these standards and regulations. So as you can see, physical objects can be described as a realization of multiple intentions within context, if you look at it this way. So what can we do with this data? What can we do? If you'd like to find out, please like and subscribe for more such videos. And until next time, I wish everyone a happy new year and stay healthy. So until next time, have a nice day. Bye.